Hello, Professor. Olivia Connors here. I was in your English Lit class fall semester, remember? I'm the one you shut down during class when I asked about the lost years in Shakespeare's life. You dismissed my question and rambled on about conspiracy theories and the authorship question. I didn't even know there was an authorship question. I was just confused. I mean, how could there be so little known about the famous Shakespeare when so much was known about his less famous contemporaries? So I did my own research. Spring break. I read 33 books on the subject and discovered that this authorship question is completely backward. No evidence that the Stratford man actually is the author. It's a lot of presumptions, no proof. Seems to me that the Stratfordian should be on the defense instead of, the other way around. Anyway, I'm making this little video to share my research. I'll talk fast and keep it short. Apparently, skepticism goes way back. Sigmund Freud, Walt Whitman, Charlie Chaplin, Orson Welles, Helen Keller, Mark Twain wrote a whole book questioning authorship. Actors, authors, statesmen, Supreme Court justices, plenty of skeptics and questions like why was the Stratford man baptized Shakespeare, referred to as Shakespeare, and spells the name different configurations of Shakespeare? Why no record of him attending university? Did you know the Stratford man didn't own a single book, play script, any letters, correspondence? I mean, he's a writer. He didn't write? He was never mentioned as a playwright within his own family or hometown. Wouldn't they want to brag? No eulogy at his funeral, no public mourning, but he was famous. So is it possible the Stratford upon Avon Shakespeare didn't really write Shakespeare? Then who did? Now this is where it really gets interesting. A British school teacher named Thomas Loney back in 1920 asked that question and approached the authorship as a detective trying to solve a crime. He came up with a profile based on the writings only, and after years of research, Loney found a match. A man obscured by time, Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, a little-known author of poetry and plays in the court of Queen Elizabeth. Because of his title, he could only publish using a pseudonym. Lots of authors use them even today. Interesting idea, huh? In fact, de Vere's whole life was interesting, fascinating actually, although a little bit embarrassing for his family. He was a rich earl after all, with plenty of time and money for shenanigans. A life that actually paralleled Hamlet's. Best tutors, access to the best library in England, Cambridge University at 14, law school at 17, proficient in French, Latin, Greek, educated in medicine, military, mythology, seamanship, horsemanship, gardening. He spent a whole year traveling throughout Italy, Verona, Venice. De Vere owned 2 acting companies. And I love this. A Geneva Bible belonging to de Vere survived with handwritten notes in the margins used in Shakespeare's plays and sonnets. And where is this Bible now? In the Folger Shakespeare Library. What? Professor, just question. Like me, you'll find plenty of reasonable doubt. You're a student once, I bet you question everything. Do we ever stop learning? Don't close the book, Professor. Just turn the page for the sake of all your students. Please.